You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and now I'm testing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on the RTX 2060. It will be interesting to see the RTX features, so if you want to see slower graphics cards, check the channel. I did other lower end graphics cards, but now I want to test the 2060 to see how RTX works and all that. So let's go to the graphics now. How are you guys doing? Good seeing you there. So let's keep textures on high, this on high. The only thing I didn't max are the textures. I kept them on high. But yeah, I might as well. No, that's going to max it out. So let's put textures on high. What else? Screen space reflections, object view distance, volumetrics, shadows. This is all maxed. Oh, here are the ray trace things. Let's disable them for now. We're going to try DLSS later. No motion blur. Okay, there are more options in the menu now. Interesting. I love that. So we apply it. First we do it without ray tracing or DLSS, then we do enable that and we see what's new. But we gotta wait for the shaders to compile, so patience guys. Shaders compile. Shaders compiling. So we're going to try that first. Holy hell, come on OBS. I want to move by text. And there we go. So we're waiting for the shaders now. In the meantime, I'll be reading 4K low. Yeah, maybe. We're going to try it. We're going to try every resolution. 1080p, 1440p, and 4K will be the tests. Scalpers and bots are the worst. Yeah, they are. Agreed. Hey, Hateful Sensei, how are you doing? Good seeing you there. El prócer de Latinoamérica. Bueno, el prócer de GPUs de Latinoamérica, capaz. High, not max settings. This is almost max settings. I forgot about something though. Order and better transparency. Yeah, it's almost maxed. Everything is maxed except in no DLSS, no ray tracing at the moment. The only thing that is not maxed is the textures. This is still Ultra Settings. The thing is the textures. Oh yeah, let's call it Ultra. And that's about it. Better than max. So Ultra. If it makes more sense to you, I'll do it. So Ultra Settings, no RTX, no DLSS, high textures. I will see. ¿Cómo hablo inglés tan fluido? Práctica, pero gracias, se agradece. ¿Me eliminaste de Steam? Sí, lo que pasa es que estaba limpiando, borré casi todo el mundo. Tenía 600 amigos, ahora tengo 30, creo. Así que agregame de vuelta y te agrego. Hi, how are you doing, guys? Oh, you meant the textures? Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Damphy. Thank you. Hi, how are you doing, guys? Waiting for the shaders to compile, that's why I'm not playing yet. Hang on. Yeah, this shader compilation is annoying, but it's only once. You don't need to do it every time you launch the game. You have to do it. Since I swapped graphics cards, I need to do it all over again. So keep that in mind. This is because I swapped graphics cards, and when a game update happens, it also needs to be done. So keep that in mind. SSAO? Yeah, probably SSAO is the one being used. Great, thanks Stampy. Thanks. I'm glad that worked out. VSync on, let's see. VSync, where is it? No, it's all disabled. We're doing to keep it disabled for now. Let's use boost mode as well. Reflex, sorry. Nvidia Reflex. ¿Juegas Apex? No, en mi tiempo libre casi no juego. Can you say the intro again? Yeah, sure. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Call of Duty Cold War, Modern Warfare, no, oh my god, Black Ops Cold War. I messed it up on the RTX 2060. Cuando salió el juego hace como 9-10 horas creo, más o menos, sí, como 10 horas. Almost there guys. Is this game worth it? It depends on your taste, really. The campaign, they say it's pretty good. Multiplayer, not so much. And zombies, well, just more zombies. So yeah. nice. Well, yeah, noise. ¿Tienes DLSS y RTX? Sí tiene, pero aún no los activo. Los voy a activar ahora en breve. Paciencia. ¿Cuál crees que es mejor PC por 600? Y no sé qué país estás hablando, así que mandamos mail cualquier cosa. Y ahí lo discutimos. Is Ryzen 3 3100 plus 1660 Super bottleneck or not? It should be fine in most games. Some games won't reach 60, but you should be GPU bound in most cases. So don't worry. I would go for that. You can upgrade the CPU later to a 5000 series Ryzen thing if you have a B550 motherboard or an X570. So I'll go that way, personally. That intro will follow me into my dreams. That's hilarious. Yes, I'm Santiago. What Uruguayan football team do you support? None. I don't like football really, but my family is from Club Nacional de Fútbol. I'm not. I'm just somebody that doesn't watch football at all. Why you're not starting the game? Because the shaders are compiling, as you can see over there. So once the compilation is done, we should have a stutter-free experience. So patience, we're getting there. It should be there. We should be there soon enough. I hope your CPU will be fine with ray tracing, because ray tracing is also CPU intensive. Well, good time to test it then. Yeah, we have shadows, ray trace shadows, I think, and ray trace ambient occlusion. And the game froze. Hang on. Oh, there we go. We're back. Oh man, that scared me. So as you can see here, we got ray tracing sun shadows, ray tracing local shadows, and ray tracing ambient occlusion. So pretty interesting. So this is for sun shadows, this is for the shadows that are not from the sun, and this is for ambient occlusion. Yeah, this will probably help with small objects and small details. I'm not sure if this will be a huge improvement to visual fidelity, but it should have more accurate shadows, as you can see here. But usually shadows is the less noticeable of the ray tracing things, so yeah. And ambient occlusion, I think it's good to have this on ray tracing. It usually looks pretty good when it's ray traced. Less of a dark halo around objects. So super interesting. So yeah. Anyways. ¿Puedes hablar español? Sí, por supuesto. Preguntame en español y te respondo en español. Bueno, genial, Eri Joel, me alegro un montón que hayas conseguido eso. Soy de Uruguay. What next gen game are you will test? Rahul, I'm testing whatever comes out, basically. Why aren't you using the 3500 for the game PC? Because it's not available in my country. In my country, we only have the 3600 or the 3100, or the 3500 doesn't exist here. If that was the case, I would be using it, but unfortunately, things don't always happen that we want them to. Unfortunately. How about the GTX 1050 non-Ti? It should be probably 10% slower than the 1050 Ti, so check that video. Discard 10% of the numbers and you should be good to go there. Is it your best GPU? Yeah, the 2060 is my best GPU right now. La 2060 Super está muy bien ahora, pero voy a esperar la 3060. Bueno, va a ser una buena decisión, me parece. Dude, please test games with i3 10100F. I'm not swapping GPUs anymore. No. Too much time swapping GPUs. Not doing that anymore, I'm sorry. I thought you were from Argentina. Well, I'm from Uruguay, so we are next to each other. I mean, it's the same region. Ya estoy buscando una fuente buena pero económica, ponele, para un Ryzen 5 3600, 5600 XT y una EVGA Bronze de 600 watts. Debería dar suficiente, si no 650, para tener un poco de sobre. Alright, we're almost there, guys. Do campaign mode. Yeah, I'm doing campaign to test the ray tracing. Then we're doing multiplayer and zombies. So, patience. So yeah, the campaign, we're doing ray tracing and the DLSS and all that. Once we know, we're going to jump into zombies and multiplayer. But yeah. Anyways. Shaders installation complete. Wonderful. Let's go to the campaign. Let's first restart the game. Let's do things right. After the shader compilation, I like restarting the game. So let's try and do this. Here we go, almost there. Alright, launching the game now. We're using ultra settings, but we lowered the textures to high to not go over the VRAM limit. So yeah, almost there. Hay una demasiada diferencia entre 1660 y 2060 y yo diría 10-15 FPS, como mucho 20, pero anda por ese rango. Puedes buscarlo en YouTube, hay videos. Comments on next gen games. Once I play them, I'll be able to comment on them. So far, nothing interesting in my opinion, at least not on PC. Well, Cyberpunk, but Cyberpunk is the game that everybody wants to see. Everyone wants to see it. Alright. Come on. Come on, game. Please. So, campaign. Fracture jaw. Resume. So now we should be in a daytime place, which should be a good reference for the sun ray tracing shadows. So the sun ray trace shadows should be the ones that are used in this part. So yeah, patience. Is the 2060 enough for next gen games? We're going to find out when that time comes. I'll be testing it. Alright. So we're now into the game, as you can see. And in this daytime part, we're getting 71 FPS, which is great. I mean, basically the maximum settings, except in the textures. So let's see what DLSS does here. Let's try DLSS. Let's hide the shader compilation. Let's try first the DLSS on performance. Let's see what it does. So with DLSS, whoa, this looks so blocky. Yeah, it looks blurry, not blocky, blurry. So DLSS on performance now. Performance. And as you can see now, with DLSS on performance, we are CPU bound. So we are maxing out the CPU, as you can see. That's why the GPU is not maxed out. We are CPU bound. Let's try now. Yeah, let's try quality DLSS. All right. Yeah, even with quality DLSS, we are CPU bound here. So if you had a better CPU, you should be able to get into the 100 FPS range in this. But I'm not sure if you can notice that, guys. Let me zoom in. This is DLSS quality. So DLSS quality. Whoa. So I'll zoom in so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. Look at this in the ground. It looks super blocky, super blurry and broken. This thing with DLSS, as you can see, it looks like that. But then if I disable DLSS altogether, so if I disable DLSS, it still looks bad. But I mean, on DLSS it looked like a straight line. Some details were lost. Anyways, let's try now RTX. So hang on, reset transform. There we go. So, but DLSS seems to look fine other than those small details I saw into the distance. So let's now try RTX. So we're going to enable, then we're doing DLSS again. So RTX, let's try first the ray tracing shadows. So we do ultra ray tracing shadows. All right, so these are, yeah, I'm going to put a list here because it's not going to be understandable at all. So this is DLSS off, RTX Sun Ultra, no local, yeah, let's call it like that, right? RTX Sun Ultra. So if you do the RTX only on the Sun, it seems to drop from 70 to 40, so you get a massive drop in performance. So yeah, and you get those ray traced shadows. Let's take a look at those. Let's see how they look. Oh man, come on, where are those shadows? Here. So I found some shadows this way. So here it is the shadow. Let's disable RTX. Let's see how it looks without RTX. So no RTX. So without RTX, really tell me which is the difference. I'm having a hard time telling. Let's see that shadow over there. Yeah, this reminds me of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Okay, there are more shadows. I'm noticing now the difference. There are shadows even in the small detailed parts, so there's more tiny shadows. So I can understand now what the ray trace shadows is all about from the sun. You get that extra, those extra shadows in the small objects. So super interesting. But then the softness of the shadow seems to be basically the same. Maybe a little bit sharper. So yeah. Then let's now enable more RTX stuff. Hang on, before that, let me see how RTX changes in the presets. So high RTX will be a couple extra frames, medium will be almost the same, yeah, 3 extra frames. So yeah, probably ultra ray tracing shadows. Let's see the local shadows, how it goes. So 51, we drop to nothing, because ray tracing local shadows, you need to be in a place with light, in a place with, what's the name of this? In a place that doesn't have the sun, like this. Yeah, maybe here we get some extra shadows that are ray traced. Let's find out. Let's see those shadows over here. Let's see if it changes at all. So we're going to lower those local shadows to nothing. I'm not noticing a huge change. Let's see again. Local shadows. Yeah, it doesn't seem to change. Maybe in nighttime. So RTX Sun on Ultra, RTX Local, Ultra. Didn't change much at all in the, because it's daytime. That's why. And let's try the ambient occlusion now. This should be a huge difference with ambient occlusion. We should notice a difference right away. So let's try that. So we're going for ambient occlusion. Let's apply that. And I can see the ambient occlusion now. Let's see, I'm not noticing a huge difference. Holy hell. Let's go to the closed environment. Doesn't seem to affect performance that much, the ambient occlusion option. Let's see this one more time. 62 versus 66, so there's a performance hit, but it's not huge. And the visual difference, not noticing it that much really if I pause the game. Probably have to do a side-by-side, yeah. Yeah, not noticing a huge visual difference there. So yeah, side-by-side comparison would be nice. So with all RTX stuff turned on, which I think would be good enough, RTX AO Ultra. I mean, with all this, I was expecting way worse numbers, really. So let's try it with DLSS. DLSS quality. Let's see if we can get 60s here. So where is it? DLSS on quality. All right, so with DLSS on quality, we're getting 50s. Okay, we got a jump in performance there, but we are CPU bound, probably due to the ray tracing. So with DLSS on quality, I need a faster CPU for ray tracing, as you can see. The GPU is not maxed out. So let me see with DLSS on performance if we get any improvement. There we can see if the CPU or the GPU. Yeah, as you can see, DLSS on performance does the exact same thing. So we are CPU bound now. So we are limited by the CPU with ray tracing on. So if you're using ray tracing, make sure to have a faster CPU. This one does not cut it, as you can see over there. We are CPU bound. So make sure to disable ray tracing if you want 60 frames. Let's see if I can get there by disabling AO. Nope. Let's see what else. If I do local shadows. Nope. Yeah, I got to turn off ray tracing altogether if I want 60 frames. As you can see here, without ray tracing, I get over 60 all the time. So yeah, if you're using ray tracing, make sure to have a faster CPU for 60 frames per second. So yeah, anyways. So with DLSS on quality, you can do ray tracing at 60 frames per second, but you need a faster CPU than this. The GPU should be able to get to 60, but the CPU cannot keep up. So let's play a little bit more of the campaign. But yeah, we're completely CPU limited now. So make sure to add a faster CPU. CPU bound means that the limitation here is the processor, not the graphics card. So we need a faster processor, something like, I don't know, a Ryzen 5 3600 should be getting there just fine. So yeah, pretty interesting. Let's get to the fighting part, then we jump into, what's the name of this? Then we do a nighttime part to see if we can still maintain 50 to 60. The 2600 is better, it shouldn't be that much better, but it should be an improvement. I'm not sure if the extra threads are being utilized there, so cannot really tell you which is better, 3600, 3300X or for 2060. The 3600 would be a better choice in my opinion. The 3300X has way higher single thread performance, I think. So maybe for gaming do the 3300X, then upgrade to a 5000 series. So yeah. A faster CPU like a Ryzen 5 3600. Alright, but remember this is the most, maybe medium RTX, let's try it very quickly. I don't think it will make a huge difference, if I'm honest. So medium, medium, medium. From 55 to, yeah, the same. So keep it on ultra, do not bother, really. Runs the same. Yeah. We're not getting a huge difference with the Ultra RTX and the Medium RTX. Bro, don't you have a better processor for tests like this? Yes, but it's doing the live stream, so I'm stuck here. Can you do another DLSS comparison? I feel like the implementation is a bit buggy. Yeah, it is. It feels a little bit buggy, not gonna lie. But it looks decent still. I mean, not perfect, don't get me wrong, there are some artifacts. I can notice the ghosting in the trees in the background. But other than that, it seems to be fine, especially the weapons. The weapons look fine. I have a Ryzen 5 3600 2060. Can I hit 60s on Ultra? I should be fine with DLSS. We're about to find out. You're on fire with streams this month? Yeah, there's a lot of new games, so I have to do live streams. Gotta do it, guys. But thank you, sir. Did you test, are you thinking of testing Vega GPUs on this or Godfall? I don't have more GPUs right now, so cannot do it. And I'm going to put DLSS on performance. So we get an extra oomph to the GPU. Nah, maybe balanced. Let's do balanced. So balanced DLSS. So as you can see, we're CPU limited. Make sure to have something faster here. Something with higher single thread performance if possible. But as you can see, all those shadows there are ray traced, apparently. So it kind of makes sense. But they are a little bit too blurry, those shadows, but they look realistic. Realistic shadows usually have that softness around them. So I prefer usually sharper shadows, but if we are talking about realism instead of artistic direction, sharper shadows I like them more. Let's see. Alright, yeah, in actual gameplay we're still below 50, so we are CPU limited, as you can see. Someone with a faster CPU will have to tell me if this is working as intended or not. But yeah, anyways, let's now try the... what's the name of this? Let me see again if lowering the RTX to medium does anything at all. Yeah, we just earned a couple extra frames. Not a huge difference. And without RTX, we're going to get a massive performance boost, that's for sure. So if I disable RTX and DLSS, so if you don't play with RTX or DLSS or anything like that, you'll be basically over 60 all the time with this CPU even. So my advice is do not use RTX, especially if your CPU cannot handle it. As you can see, over 60 all the time without RTX. That would be my preferred way of playing the game, personally. RTX adds to the visuals, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's justified. You have to use DLSS, it looks fine, but it's not the same as native resolution. So let's now go to a nighttime scene. So as you can see with DLSS and RTX, we're into the 40s due to the CPU. So we need a faster CPU for this. Let's now go to another mission, one that is nighttime. That will be interesting because there's local shadows as well. So let's do the safe house, and then we do the first mission. Let's see how it goes on nighttime, because there are more shadows probably. We'll see how the CPU and GPU do. Okay, here we seem to be okay. Yeah, maybe in the parts with sun shadows, sun ray trace shadows, is where it suffers the most. Yeah, with the 3700X will be better. 9300H okay for 60, without ray tracing, yeah, sure. As you can see, those shadows now, the ray trace shadows, are way softer, as you can see, more realistic, but some people do not like softer shadows. But yeah, as you can see, there's even shadows in small objects. But I mean, considering the performance hits, not really something I'm fond of, honestly. So as you can see, more realistic shadows. Let's just disable them so you can see the difference. So if we disable the ray tracing altogether, so no ray tracing. Without ray tracing, you have harder shadows, but don't get me wrong, ray tracing is nice, but this is looking good anyways. I mean, artistically speaking, all good with ray tracing, all that good stuff, but the shadows still look good. They don't look that as realistic as they could. But I mean, the performance difference is absolutely insane. So I don't think it's worth enabling, really. Personal preference, of course, but the performance difference is so big for the shadows to be more realistic. I mean, without RTX, it still looks fine. It still looks fine. So here we're not CPU bound because it's a small map. So let's get back to the menu and do the first mission. But as you can see, there is not a huge difference that makes the game look completely new. So in my opinion, it's not worth enabling, at least not right now. So yeah, despite being CPU bound, we are not maxing out the CPU, so you can see there how optimized everything is. But I don't think RTX is worth it at all in this game, just like Modern Warfare. Alright, so this is the first mission. This is usually the part that runs the worst, this part right here. And this part looks nice, considering we're using DLSS. Looks pretty good. So yeah, personally guys, ray trace shadows and all that, in this game at least, I don't think it's worth it. Ray trace reflections, well, that's another story. Ray trace reflections are great, I love them, that they don't disappear when I look down. But those are not in this game, we only have ambient occlusion and shadows ray traced. So if they can give me a big difference with ray trace shadows, I'll take it. But it just makes them softer and more realistic. I mean, that's fine, it works for me. But what I mean by that is they should have done something better for such a performance hit. Are you going to test multi this stream? Going to test multi this stream? Not sure, what do you mean? Multi-resolution? Ah, multiplayer, yeah, sure, yeah, of course. Alright, let's grab AK-74U. Yeah, let's see this shadow over here. Let's see if it changes. So super good shadow there. So local shadows disabled. Please, guys, tell me the difference. Where is it? Holy hell. Just for you guys to understand also, I'll disable RTX and DLSS just so you see the difference. So first of all, let's disable DLSS completely. So no DLSS. So DLSS off. Then with DLSS disabled, in this level at least, we're getting 60s. In more open locations, we're getting 30s with ray tracing. And once we disable ray tracing, just see the performance difference. So no ray tracing now. We get 100 FPS. 100 FPS. So we lose more than 40 frames per second by using ray tracing, at least in this area. So yeah, I don't think it's worth it, really. The game still looks good without ray tracing. So let's enable ray tracing and do some multiplayer and all that. And let's see how it runs, how it all runs. But it seems that the most demanding ray trace option is the Sun Shadows, which makes sense. In daytime, the sun is everywhere, so yeah, we're doing DLSS balanced. And yeah, as you can see, we are CPU limited with ray tracing. So with ray tracing, make sure to have a faster CPU. Just make sure to have that so you don't get the CPU bound, sorry. So in this case, in particular, yeah, we are CPU bound when using ray tracing. Without ray tracing, it's fine at 100 FPS. So we're going to do ray tracing here. Then we're doing zombies and multiplayer, and then we're doing 1080p without ray tracing. Because why would you use ray tracing? Personally, in this case, I don't think it's worth the performance hit. I really don't think so. Oh, I killed the guy I had to protect. Yeah, 40 FPS for slightly nicer shadows and more accurate, softer shadows at the end of them. I don't think it's worth it, really. At least not right now. If the performance hit was smaller, well, I'll think about it, but considering the hit on the CPU, the hit on the GPU, I don't think it's worth it, really. And that's not to say I don't like them, it looks nice. The thing is that the game without ray tracing still looks pretty nice, and runs a lot better and uses less CPU. So no hate to RTX. RTX looks good, but considering the performance hit in this case, I don't think it's worth it. The ray trace reflections, I like them, but there are none. No ray trace reflections on this. So yeah, let's do body shield. Nice. This is amazing. I do like this body shield mechanic. Look at those executions. So cool. But as you can see, we are CPU limited. Despite the CPU not being maxed out. So yeah. Anyways. Once we get to the airport location, we're going to swap to multiplayer. So bear with me, guys. Ay, cuello botella, sí, el CPU nos limita cuando usamos RTX. Guys, when we are using RTX, we are CPU bound. So keep that in mind. It will require more CPU power as well, not only RTX. Also requires more CPU power. He's gone. Come on. Those are gone. You're gone as well. Bye bye. Oh, hello there. Come on. Let's keep it going. Slow motion. Yeah, we're badasses, as you can see. Yeah, he's gone for good. Yeah, I see those shadows in your feet. Yeah, there are also shadows in this body over here. But I mean, is that worth 40 FPS? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Wait.
Blah blah blah.
I just handle the money. I have no idea where Arashi is.
Oh yeah, if you have a faster CPU, ray tracing on Ultra should be playable, but again, with DLSS. But again, why would you? Why would you? Why? The difference, I mean, you can notice that the shadows are better, but it's not worth that many FPS to lose, in my opinion. The game still looks great without ray tracing. Let's throw him back. Bye bye. See ya. So let's go now to the airport. That's the part that is nighttime as well. Does this game have local multiplayer split screen on PC? As far as I know, no. But I'm going to try it out later.
Kasim is out of the picture.
Alright, come on. Let me skip. Let me skip. Let me skip. Let me skip. Have I already tried 4K? No, not yet. I'm going to try it later. Hang on. I want to try first this mission, then we do multiplayer zombies and with ray tracing, and we see. I would have liked ray trace reflections personally. Come on. Yeah, ray trace shadows there. Meh. The game still looks good without ray tracing. Let's shoot. Oh, I didn't have to shoot. Let's do zombies and multiplayer. Yeah, the CPU is not maxed out, but that doesn't always mean much. Sometimes. What? What happened? What the heck? Okay. Oh, okay. It's downloading a patch now. Hang on, I was scared for a second. I gotta restart the game, right? No, I don't. Okay, perfect. Let's go to zombies super quickly. Let's see if we can get 60s there. So we're doing private, solo, and then we're jumping into multiplayer. So yeah. Do gaming, your channel will become big. I'm not doing gaming. That's not what this channel is about. This channel is about performance. Gaming, you can see gaming channels everywhere on YouTube, so I prefer to stay doing benchmarks and testing performance and see how a game runs. But thanks anyways, I appreciate it. ¿Vas a probar 1440p? Sí, cuando termine con el ray tracing, vamos a 1440p. Alright. Let's see. ¿Dónde aprendiste inglés? En clase. Nunca fui un país que hablara en inglés, lamentablemente. Alright. Let's see. Okay, the zombies mode on daytime seems to be okay with ray tracing. We're still CPU limited. But again, ray trace shadows. So keep that in mind. So yeah, zombies seems to be fine with ray tracing and DLSS, even if you are CPU limited. But again, I don't think it's worth using, considering the performance hit and the CPU hit.
This is ground zero. Whatever
Over
happened
here.
here is the cause of the dimensional breaches all over the world.
Come on, more zombies, please.
Undead.
How much space does Reagan hair takes? Is it an optional download? Yeah. It's like 90% of the size of the game is the hair of that guy. Yeah. The head of Reagan is the biggest part of the downloadable content. I mean, it's the reason why you play Call of Duty. Come on, man. All right. Keep going. We need more money though. But yeah, in this game, ray tracing, I don't think it's worth it, personally. Just like it happened on Modern Warfare. Although Modern Warfare, I'm not sure if that included ray trace shadows at its entirety. Anyways, let's go to a multiplayer. Let's see. Hey Santiago, can you help me? I need a new GPU for my i5-7400. Any suggestions? GTX 1650 Super or RX 580. That would be my recommendation. Although if you go for a 580, go for the 8GB version. Highly recommended. Can I combine a Ryzen 5 2400G with a 2060 Super without bottleneck? No, probably not. I mean, you'll still have a playable experience, but games like this one, at least with ray tracing, will be below 60. Let's try Dirty Bomb, some of the biggest maps. Hopefully I can find a match now. Please, Call of Duty, give me a match. I'm asking only one match on a big map. Please. Please, Call of Duty, please. What if RTX is disabled? You're getting over 60 all the time, but we're doing no ray tracing after I'm done testing multiplayer. Once I do multiplayer, we're doing 1080p without ray tracing. We're doing 1440p. We're doing 4K. Again, ray tracing. On this game, I don't like it really. I don't think it's a worthy implementation, personally. Anyways, so I cannot find a match right now. So let's do the same as we did before. So team deathmatch on Cartel, on Veteran. Solo tienes ese procesador, por el momento sí, pero capaz que hago un cambiazo, veremos qué pasa. Capaz que dejamos el 3600 como el default y listo, porque hacer cambio de CPU toma demasiado tiempo, no lo puedo hacer más. Guys, I was saying in Spanish that, that I cannot swap CPUs that quickly, so I usually stay with one CPU. Seeing the numbers here, I probably jump for the Ryzen 5 3600 as a main CPU, we'll see. As a main CPU, I mean when testing this, well, so many weird graphical glitches. Anyways, so with DLSS and RTX, we're getting on multiplayer, in the best case scenario, we're getting 60s. But again, if you're happy to sacrifice performance for those slightly better shadows for the ray trace shadows, be my guest, you can do it. But I don't think it's worth the CPU and GPU impact it has, really. But again, personal preference. I think they should have done reflections or something like that, or even global illumination. But this doesn't feel like something that you should be thinking about, really. Just disable RTX and have fun. Unless you have a high-end GPU and high-end CPU. I mean, you can do it if you want, but not recommended, really, so far. Anyways. Yeah, there are some shadow bugs every once in a while. So yeah, pretty terrible. So let's now disable RTX and DLSS. Let's be kind to our PC for a second. So we're doing no DLSS and no RTX. So no DLSS, no RTX. If you want to see RTX or DLSS, rewind the live stream. I did some testing there. So we're disabling all that. This time around, do not use ray tracing, not worth it, in my opinion. So we disable all the fancy stuff. Let's play like it's 2006. So as you can see, without any ray tracing, any DLSS, we're getting over 90 FPS. So yeah, ray tracing, I don't think it's worth it really. At least not in this game. Let's see the shadows here. Yeah, I mean the shadows still look pretty nice. So, yeah. Yeah, the best Call of Duty player ever, as you can see. Best gameplay in the world. I'm playing against bots, so that doesn't count. Alright. There he goes. He's gone for good. Yeah, the bots are pretty good on the on veteran. The bots are good. But as you can see, it's fine. It's fine. Without ray tracing. You can do ultra settings just fine. So let's go now to the zombies again. Then we do single player, then we do multiplayer at 1440p. So yeah. Best play, of course, my play is the best one. That's hilarious. Anyways. Try DLSS plus no RTX. We're doing that later. The thing is we're CPU limited in those cases because we don't have a fast enough CPU for 100 FPS. So hang on, let's go to the campaign. That'll be better. So we go to the bad part of the campaign, which is this part. Sir, you look like Shroud with glasses. Well, thank you, but I look nothing like Shroud. Look at this. I'm charmed. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I think 1440p without ray tracing would be the best. I agree completely. That's probably the best configuration. But let's see the worst case scenario, which is this map. This map at least was the one that ran the worst. So if you get 60s here, you're getting 60s in the... What's the name of this? In the multiplayer, in the zombies. So as you can see by a long shot, this is the worst running part of the game. At least for me right now. This is the mission I got to. So some of the worst numbers are right here. So before doing 1440p, let me show you very quickly DLSS again. So DLSS on quality. So if you put DLSS on quality, hang on, gotta refresh the assets. There we go. So if you do DLSS on quality, you're getting 80 frames. So you jump from the 60s in the worst parts to 80s in the worst parts. So in the best parts, you're going to probably get into the hundreds, but we're CPU limited when you get into 100 FPS range. So personally, I wouldn't use DLSS. We're already, unless you're trying to get 144 or something and a faster CPU. So come on game, refresh those assets, thank you. Let's do now 1440p. So 2560 by 1440. Apply those settings. So now we are on 1440p. Gotta change those, the size of the overlay. So the numbers are visible. So we're back in. What's the point of ray tracing in first-person shooter games? If there's ray trace reflections, you're going to notice a difference. I promise you. Let's restart the game now. Overclock to 3100. I'm overclocked to 4.1. No, most people do not overclock, so no thanks. I'm good. I'm not using RTX anyways, so yeah, I'm doing 1440p now. I prefer FPS more than anything, I agree. Up to a certain point, of course. I mean, if there were ray trace reflections, I'll be all over that, but there are no ray trace reflections. Because ray trace reflections are usually the most noticeable improvement. So yeah. What about 5600 XT Ultra 60 Plus? Yeah, probably. Yeah, should be okay. Could I run Cold War on a 1050 with 7700 HQ? Yeah, you can. Make sure to use 720p, lowest textures, and keep the game on medium, and you should be fine. Okay, let's jump straight into the campaign again, in the bad part. ¿Pasa el programa para usar Ryzen 3000? No, por ahora no, más adelante quizá. Veremos. Alright. Skip. Why not use DLSS though? Doesn't improve the image quality in some cases. Yeah, in some cases it does, but not always. Not always. I see some ghosting at times when moving the camera. Ghosting in very distant objects, I mean, it's good to use. I'll probably use it at 1440p. On 1080p, I say I don't think it's worth it because We're getting an improvement in the frame rates, yeah, but we're still CPU limited. So I wouldn't really use it in that case. Because without DLSS, the artifacts on the trees in the background or all those things, yeah, they don't look that great with DLSS. But if I can disable DLSS, I'll do it. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. Depends really on the quality that you're using. So 45 FPS at 1440p Ultra. Let's lower some settings first. Let's try first DLSS. Let's go step by step. Let's try quality DLSS. So quality DLSS. So if you want to do 1440p, 60 frames, you probably want to use quality DLSS. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, view. Yeah. With quality DLSS at 1440p looks amazing, super sharp. Holy hell. Yeah. Even the trees in the distance are not getting ghosting.
What? You still asleep or something?
But you can see some tiny ghosting. I'm going to show you guys. When many things are moving around. But I have to zoom in a lot for you guys to see it, so try to see this spot in the middle where the trees meet with the I'm not sure if you can see it, those tiny artifacts. So it seems to be doing a good job in the quality preset. As you can see over there, there's some tiny artifacting, but very tiny. Yeah, due to the trees in the background, there's very tiny. I don't think you'll notice it really if you're not looking for it. So I think these are the best settings for the 2060, 1440p, highest settings, high textures, quality DLSS. So yeah, magnificent really. Looks gorgeous like this. Looks gorgeous. Interesting. So let's see, if you don't want to use DLSS, you probably want to lower the settings a little bit. So without any DLSS, you're getting, instead of 60s in the worst part, over 60, you're getting 40s. So let's lower a few things. Let's lower shadows to high. Anti-aliasing, let's keep it the same. And ambient occlusion to high. Let's see if that helps in any way. So 49, nope, didn't change much at all. So guys, just use DLSS at 1440p. We got a small boost in performance here, but let's see, medium shadows. I really prefer DLSS in this case. It looks so good with DLSS that I'd rather use that than lowering settings. Yeah, if you lower the settings to medium shadows, medium ambient occlusion, you are getting, and no DLSS, you're getting mid-50s in the bad parts. And the trees do not look sharp at all. The trees look like they are flickering. So in this case, DLSS looks better than native resolution, in my opinion. So if you guys care about that, I recommend you use DLSS. In this game, it looks fantastic. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting that good of a visual difference. So I'm pretty impressed with DLSS on this one. Super impressed. Hang on, the options menu bugs at times. So what else? Quality, disable, no RTX. All right, yeah. And the reflections for some reason do not stay on high settings. So yeah, this will be my best settings, guys. Sí, estoy recansado. Tuve más de 4 horas ahora streameando. So guys, as you can see, ultra settings, quality DLSS at 1440p without RTX. Just do this. Looks amazing. Looks great, really. I'm super surprised about this DLSS implementation. At least at 1440p, it looks amazing. In this section at least, with wildlife and all that. So yeah, interesting. Let's try 4K now. Now that we're here, we might as well. So no DLSS. And we jump directly into 4K. PC Master Race. Tiene una clave, tocó pagarlo. Me tocó pagarlo, pero bueno, es lo que tiene. For people asking, yeah, I had to buy the game. I didn't get it for free. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I didn't get paid to test this game. I had to buy it, and there we go. So 4K, 4K Ultra Settings, no DLSS. So 4K, 4K resolution, no DLSS, no RTX. Although again, DLSS looks amazing in this game. Okay, with 4K, the worst part, we're below 30 frames per second. Let's try high settings very quickly. Let's see how it goes. So high settings, we're going to drop the volumetrics to medium. Let's put it on medium instead of high. I don't trust high that much. So high settings, a mix between medium and high at 4K. Let's see. So let it load. Come on, game, finish loading. All right, if you do medium, a mix between medium and high. So mid-high, should be over 30 frames per second at 4K. So personally, I wouldn't do this. Why would you put it at 30 frames per second on a Call of Duty game? Looks super sharp, don't get me wrong, but it's time now to do DLSS. So we're doing DLSS on, let's do it on quality first. Let's see where we go. So quality DLSS, let the game load the changes. So with quality DLSS, we're getting 46 FPS instead of 35. So, sorry, 48, 49. It's getting better. And it looks super sharp. Yeah, even better than 84K, I have to say. Yeah, the streaks into the distance do not flicker at all. Amazing. I cannot believe what I'm seeing, really. So, with quality, we're getting 40s. Let's try balanced DLSS. So, balanced DLSS would be... So DLSS on balanced, we jump into the mid-50s. So balanced DLSS, this in multiplayer will probably be over 60 just fine. This is the worst case scenario, so consider that. So on balanced DLSS, we're in the mid-50s in the bad parts. Yeah, I'm going to show zombies, but hang on. I'm just trying to sum up the performance. Let's try now performance DLSS. So DLSS on performance. Okay, with DLSS on performance, we're getting 60s. And yeah, it doesn't look the same as DLSS quality, but still looks better than 1080p by a long shot. Yeah, I can tell you that much. So if you want the highest image quality possible, either do 1440p with DLSS on quality, on max settings, without shadows maxed out. And then you can do 4K medium to high with performance DLSS. Which is not the same as, which looks good, doesn't look perfect, but it looks good. Or directly do 1080p on the highest settings and you'll be fine, basically. Since I already shown 1080p, we're going to do the best settings, which is 1440p. In this case, at least, in my opinion, we do 1440p. Do not use RTX, do yourself a favor, please. Stay away from RTX, not as good looking in this game as others. You're not going to notice a huge difference, so please stay away from RTX. So we're doing quality, ultra, yeah, why not? Let's max it out. And we're doing 1440p, but it seems to be running pretty good, really. 4K on medium to high settings with DLSS. That's pretty good numbers in my book. So 1440p, come on game, apply my settings. For crying out loud. Holy hell. This options menu. Anyway, so 1440p, perfect. Quality DLSS, and this will be my best settings, guys. So let me show you very quickly. My best settings for the 2060 is either 1080p maxed out with DLSS on quality or without. Let me hide that. And my best settings are 1440p. High textures instead of ultra, high models, no HD textures, high special effects. This should be on high, but when you apply the settings, it goes back to low. As you can see, if I go down and go back up, stays on low. So we're not sure what's up with that. High object view distance, high volumetric lighting, ultra shadows, all dynamic shadows, enable special effect shadows, enable weapon shadow, no RTX because it's super demanding and I don't really think it's worth it for the quality difference. DLSS on quality looks pretty good. The trees are not flickering with quality DLSS, the trees into the distance. Then ambient occlusion on ultra, no motion blur, personal preference really. High order independent transparency, and that's about it. Those are my best settings for the game. Either that or 1080p ultra. So let's restart the game now. So we apply the changes, and we get out of the game, and we get back up. ¿Puedes subir el FOV? Sí, lo voy a subir. No te preocupes. So guys, if you want 60 frames... Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Make sure you're doing... you have a faster CPU for RTX. For RTX, you need a faster CPU. High textures. So make sure you do that. It's super important. So if you have this CPU, you'll suffer with RTX. You're not going to max out your GPU usage. So if you have a Ryzen 5 3600 or something like that, you should be able to do ray tracing at 60 frames if you use DLSS on 1080p. So keep that in mind. But considering the quality difference, I don't think it's worth it really. Yeah, I'm going to show now campaign super quickly, then zombies, then multiplayer. So now it's time to just play the game a little bit and try to enjoy myself. So if you want to see other settings, just make sure to rewind the live stream. We're going to be doing that. So let's try it out. We're doing single player now, super quickly. Then we're doing multiplayer zombies, which again super quickly. And then we're doing multiplayer. Let's try to find a match this time, please. Is the game any good? At the moment, I'm enjoying it so far. So let's go here to the mission that destroyed my frame rates. No hay cuello de botella con el 3100, solo si prendes el RTX. Si prendes el Ray Tracing, ahí el CPU se te muere de hambre, pero sin RTX anda bárbaro. So people asking, yeah, if you use RTX with this CPU is going to suffer. You're not hitting 60 frames. We're CPU bound when using RTX in this game, so make sure you go for that. So yeah, let's go. We're doing after this zombies, then multiplayer, and at the end, at the very end of the video, we're doing the lowest settings on 1080p, so you guys can see the performance difference. To see if you can get 144. Let's see your aim. Yeah, let's go for that. My lack of aim will be completely noticeable. So yeah. But yeah, guys, those trees in the distance do not look blurry at all, jaggy. They look fine. Looks super sharp, everything. Well, super sharp. Sharp in a good way, so it's not soft, but it looks fine. It's not super blurry like other DLSS implementations. This one looks pretty good, really. I'm pretty shocked that it looks this good. It has some artifacting, yeah, but not a lot of it. It's pretty... Okay, I'm seeing some artifacting there, but there's a moving object. Just to show you very quickly. Here next to the super tiny artifact, doesn't matter. Next to the trees is barely noticeable. You're not going to notice it. So let's get into the chopper. Get to the chopper. Get to the chopper. El FOV, gracias. Me había olvidado. Let's increase the FOV like you guys asked for. Let's do how many? Let's do 105. Let's be unreasonable. So we jump from 73 to 76. What? Okay. So I increase the FOV now. This is a little too much for me. Let's do 100. Yeah, 100 FOV. Okay, this looks better. So guys, if you want to use a wider FOV, you can do it. As you can see, I jumped from 80 to 100, so 20 degrees, and the performance difference wasn't huge. So yeah. Anyways. Could you from now on use your Ryzen 5? Yeah, I probably do. Considering the numbers I'm seeing here, I probably will swap to the Ryzen 5. for all the testing and disabled some cores to test quad-core stuff. But yeah, right now, you don't like DLSS? Well, in this game it's done pretty well. I'm surprised, really. Oh, the DLSS implementation here looks pretty good, at least to me. Personal opinion, personal preference. If you do not want DLSS, just play on 1080p max settings and you should be good to go.
Why do I get the feeling you about to give us some bad news? Because you're a smart guy.
You always play at 95 to 105 FOV, well that's fine, makes sense. That's why I increased the FOV, because you guys wanted to see it, so here it is. ¿Tu monitor es 4K? Sí, pero como es de 28 pulgadas, 1440p se ve muy bien.
Source tipped us off that there may be a heavy hitter in town. A Soviet
Alright.
operative known as Perseus.
Yeah, still looks pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. With all this movement on the screen, we're still getting good edges.
Is right.
Yeah, there's very tiny ghosting, but I have to look for it, really. Where are you from? I'm from Uruguay.
Time Perseus pinged our radar.
From Uruguay. Uruguay. Okay, time for a fight. This part should be the most taxing. So let's give it a try. Yeah, as you can see, we drop into the 60s, but still super smooth. Okay, we drop into the 50s now. Seems to be GPU bound in that case. And DLSS here is holding up still. Yeah, those trees into the distance are super blurry. They're not even loading shadows, so I shouldn't be looking at trees, I should be shooting. Alright. Anybody else? Yeah, you. Whoa. I'm seeing some artifacting at times. Sometimes I see like, yeah, some terrible artifacting like here. Probably the helicopter shadow. Pretty confused about this. But again, we're getting 60s, so good stuff.
Your priority is securing any intel.
Come on, anybody else? There you are. Headshot. 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 Single player parts are easy. Yeah, it's running fine. I'm so sorry. Hang on. Water, I need it. Holy hell. I hate when that happens. Well, I was saying that it was easy and I died, so as you can see, it runs okay. Like this, and it looks good. I think it looks the best at 1440p with DLSS on quality. Again, personal preference. So yeah, let's jump into zombies now. We've seen the worst performing part, so as you can see, best gameplay ever. 11 out of 10. So let's go to zombies. Zombies. On FPS, expect with 3700X or 5600X and 3080, you're probably over 60 all the time on 1080p with ray tracing, if you care about ray tracing at all. Yeah, the screen tearing is because I didn't enable VSync. I probably will just fine. I was okay, just sometimes my throat gives me a bad time. I've been speaking like 4 hours straight without drinking a lot of water, so I'm still alive, I promise. I'm still alive. So yeah, the issue sometimes is that I'm speaking a lot of hours straight. I mean, I've been speaking like, yeah, 4 hours non-stop. Crazy stuff.
Requiem actual strike team is on the ground.
Alright, let's see.
Let's get moving, people. Recon the site.
Yeah,
eliminate
with this
all
FOV I have to say it's a lot better. Tenías razón, con el FOV en 100 está muchísimo mejor, se siente mucho mejor. Guys, I was saying in Spanish, the FOV at 100 it's a lot better than 80. I'm way more comfortable playing the game now. So I agree with the people that told me that the extra FOV was worth it. Well, they were right. Not a performance hit at all. I think a couple frames maybe.
No better than most, Dr. Strauss. Team
So yeah,
facility entrance should
thank
be
you for the
attacked.
FOV adjustment. Come on, zombies, where are you? There you are. Hello, buddy. Whoa. They come from underground for some reason. Yeah, it's not super logic where the zombies come from sometimes, which is fine. I prefer the randomness. It would be a little bit too boring if they were so predictable. He's gone. What? I know nonsense woman sniper. How original. Yeah, true. That's hilarious. Completely right. It's always a woman that is angry with a sniper rifle. Those are usually the badasses in games and movies. That's hilarious. Yeah, let's get them all. Now we can open the other door. Come on. Come on, let's move. Let's keep it going. FOV es lo que hace maravilloso jugar en PC. Sí, tal cual. Estoy totalmente de acuerdo. Me había olvidado. Alright. I need more money to kill more zombos. Mambo, Jambo, zombos. I'm going to delete the health bars. The health bars are so annoying. There we go. So I don't feel like I'm playing Destiny. Nothing against Destiny, but I prefer to not have health bars or numbers jumping when I shoot. Just let me play the game like I want. Okay. Come on, zombies. Waiting for you. ¿Descargaste el paquete de las texturas? No, porque no nos da la memoria de video. Es demasiado, me parece. Okay, guys, I didn't download the HT texture pack because we only have 6 gigs of VRAM and it's almost maxed out already. So even the 580 without the HT texture pack was at the 8 GB of usage range. So if you have more than 8 GB of VRAM, use it. But if not, I don't recommend it really. Let's get down here.
Welcome to Project N Station. The doors don't normally behave like this.
Come on.
I take no pleasure in revisiting this wretched place.
Oh, hello zombies.
I heard rumors in the research that
But as you can see, guys, the zombie mode is fine, runs way better than the campaign.
horror, a gateway to
I'm going to try and wait for more zombies to show up.
To pick up with the Nazi left off. We should get the power on.
But as of right now, as you can see, it's okay. Sí, con los números parece que estoy jugando Borderlands, tal cual. No lo podría haber dicho mejor. Someone said in Spanish that when the numbers are... So, let me know if I'm back. My game crashed because of the internet. The internet was cut off. So, I'm back now. I should be back. Let me know, guys, in the chat if you can see me and hear me. Hopefully, I returned. The return of the Jedi. So, let's launch the game once more. Yeah, the stream crashed for a second. So, yeah. Gotta get back into the game. So, zombies, no zombies. Zombies was fine, but my internet crashed. So, let's go to the multiplayer right away. So, yeah. Anyways. Okay, you can see me. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Muchas gracias. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm back. I'm so sorry. The internet sometimes cuts off for a few seconds and that kills the stream, kills the gameplay, kills everything. Alright. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So let's jump directly into the multiplayer. Let's see if we can find a match in the Dirty Bomb mode. Let's see. Yeah. Cameron, I was doing, it was insta-kill, I know, but I was shooting as many enemies as possible. So I didn't care about the ammo, really. I had more than enough. All right. Come on. Come on. Please, Call of Duty, give me a game. This game only works online. Yeah, the campaign seems to be working online as well. We're going to try that at the end of the live stream. It will be a lot of fun. It would be so much fun. Oh my god. So much fun. Yeah, we're going to try that. Let's see how it goes. Not even a single person. Alright. Yeah, not going to try that. Let's try Mosh Pit. Maybe something more interesting. Let's try it again. I'll drink water in the meantime. Water. Much love. Well, much love to you too, man. Blue Phoenix. Thank you so much, man. Oh my god, nobody's playing. What the heck is happening? Is nobody playing this game? Is everybody at Warzone? That's hilarious. Anyways, let's do like the other ones against bots. Veteran in the cartel map. We're going to do, let's do Harden, so I have a small chance against the bots, at least. Hey, Eddie and Babu, how are you doing? What was the 570's performance? The 570 could do high settings, medium shadows, medium ambient occlusion at 60 frames per second, 50 to 60. Was pretty fun. Highly recommend that. Anyways, so multiplayer. I know, not the same as against people, but hey, not that I have a choice. So this will be the best case scenario. Whoa, I'm running so fast. Oh, maybe that's due to the FOV. It feels like I'm running faster. But as you can see, in the best case scenario, when you're on the highest preset 1440p with DLSS on quality, you're going to get 100 FPS, basically, in the best case scenario.
Pulling ahead.
Hostile expired.
Hostile expired. What? Who talks like that? Expired. What the heck? Anybody there? All right. Whoa. Yeah, they're still good. They're still pretty good at the game. All right. Yeah, nobody's playing multiplayer, which is interesting because the game released literally today, less than 12 hours ago. 12 hours ago the game released. And I was using also the, what's the name of this? My brain. The crossplay mode. So I was queuing against console people, and not even console people are playing apparently. So, what a disappointment. What a disappointment. No, I cannot shoot through walls. Never mind, I could. Yeah, now these bots are not getting me. I got used to them, I think. Never mind. So yeah, let's try now the 1080p on the lowest. Because I already showed you 1080p with RTX, without RTX, I tried basically everything. So let's do 1080p lowest settings. So we're dropping everything to the lowest. So low, 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 nothing. Disable basically everything. Even DLSS, we disable that. Let's disable everything. Nobody's safe. No setting is safe from my lowest. So 1080p lowest, just to see how much FPS we can get with this CPU. So low settings, settings. No DLSS, no RTX, no nothing. That's how you do it. And let me fix very quickly the overlay because it's not visible. So there we go. Let's get back into the game now. So let's try this. Everything on the lowest. Let's see what FPS we get. We're getting, okay, over 120 FPS, and we are CPU limited. So if you're in a 32-player match, you're going to drop below 100 FPS probably. So if you wanted the lowest settings, this is how you do it. So yeah, now you see it. You're not getting 100 FPS with this consistently with this CPU. So if you have a faster CPU, consider that. Keep that in mind, better said. Do not consider it, keep it in mind. But yeah, probably everybody's playing Warzone, nobody's playing Black Ops. If you're playing Black Ops Cold War, it's probably for the campaign, which I understand. No, the game didn't crash, do not worry. So yeah, let's now go back to the main menu and let's try to play offline. I'm just going to disconnect the computer that is not doing the live stream. But yeah, the CPU bottleneck targeting 100 FPS is pretty noticeable. So if you have a 3100, just aim for 60 frames without ray tracing. If you have ray tracing, the CPU will not be enough. I'm going to talk about all of this at the end of the live stream, so bear with me. Anyways, so let's disconnect the internet from the computer that's playing the game. So we disconnect the internet, as you can see. Here's the Ethernet cable. So I disconnected my internet from the computer that's not doing the live stream. Let's try to join the campaign. Resume. All right, everything seems to be fine. We'll see once we get out. Okay. All right. Oh. What happened? Oh my god, are you serious? What? You cannot play offline. Okay, just like Modern Warfare, you cannot play offline, the single player, so you have to be online at all times. So this is the DRM they are using. Connection to Blizzard game server has been lost. Please exit and try again. So I have to leave the game entirely. Great job, Activision. Great job. I cannot believe this. Well, I can, because on Modern Warfare it was the same. What a disappointment. What a disappointment. Anyways, let's now thank the members, since I'm ending the live stream. So, really? Do you recommend the RTX 2060? I'm going to talk about that later. Give me a few seconds. Going to thank the members first. So memberships, see all, current level, awesome supporter 2.0. So guys, if you are an awesome supporter 2.0, which is the tier 2 level for memberships, you're going to get a shout out at the end of the video. So I'm going to say your names. So thanks to Gabi Asiares, Coconuts, Avisek, Mukherjee, Rodrigo Duarte, Cristo Gavetsjob, Sunak Das, and Ken for being an awesome supporter 2.0. Thank you so much for supporting the channel directly. I'm now going to say my conclusions about the options menu and all that, so you guys can see. So thank you to the tier 2 members and tier 1. So yeah, let's jump back into the game and I tell you my final thoughts very quickly, because I have to leave. Yeah, they do that so it can't be cracked. Yeah, I agree completely. That's probably why they do it, but it's still disappointing. There are people that don't have a constant internet connection. Just imagine you're playing single player, about to finish a level, and no internet for any reason. Then you have to start all over again. Yeah, no thanks. I'm good. You still streaming? Yeah, I'm about to end the live stream. I'm going to talk about the no worries, Pedro. That's fine. Thank you so much for being here. I'm about to finish the live stream, so I want to talk about the options menu very quickly. So what to lower, what to not lower, RTX, all that stuff. So let's talk about that. So if you want to use this, NVIDIA Reflex, use it. But again, I'm not good enough at the game to notice it. So the things that affected performance the most were, first of all, the reflections. Then volumetric lighting, I didn't notice a huge difference. But then on shadows and ambient occlusion, so shadows and ambient occlusion, I noticed a big difference. So if you lower those two, it would be fine. Then also the anti-aliasing made a big difference, despite just being SMAA, it still made us lose 5 FPS. Then if you want ray tracing, personally I wouldn't use it in this game. It's a massive performance hit and the visual difference is not that obvious. So if you want to do it, but I do not recommend it. It also uses more CPU. If you have a Ryzen 5, a Ryzen 3 3100, you're not getting 60s with ray tracing enabled. So if you want 60s on a quad-core CPU, make sure to disable ray tracing altogether. Then DLSS, it surprised me this time around. DLSS looks pretty good in this game, really. I'm pretty surprised. If you use it on quality, it looks good enough. As you can see here, it says quality recommended for 2K gameplay, which I agree with. I tried it on 2K and it looked great, super sharp. Then on performance, you can do 4K aiming for 60 on medium settings on the 2060. But again, DLSS recommended on quality. On 1080p, you don't need it in this case. But if you have a faster CPU, you should be able to do ray tracing with DLSS on quality on 1080p, aiming for 60 frames. But again, use a faster CPU. If you want 60 frames with ray tracing, you need something faster, like a 3600. Then on the, what's the name of this? Then without ray tracing, the game runs fine, pretty good. You can make 60 frames pretty easily with this CPU. If you have a quad-core CPU, you're probably, without hyper-threading, you're probably getting drops into the 50s with 4 cores, 4 threads. Then, if you want 140 FPS, you need a faster CPU. This one won't cut it, so I'm probably doing the 3600 soon to see if we can hit 144. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. If you want to see slower GPUs, I already did this live stream, so that live stream is over already. I already tested all my GPUs on this game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Have a good one and see you next time. Bye guys. Have a nice weekend. Ryzen 3 3100 2600 AF. Personalmente Ryzen 3 3100. Para juegos va a ir mejor. Nos vemos.